These are dark times, where the law has been reduced to rubble. And it's up to us to restore it to its former
So I don't know how well the frame rate's gonna be acting.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm only getting like
Target finally decided to make a move.
20 FPS. I'm just trying this out.
Don't you worry. I've got a trusty new partner on board. She's been with us for half a year, though I can hardly believe it. Anyway, her power will be our greatest weapon.
Are you alright, miss?
Yeah, it's for this very reason I returned. Time to bring it to an end.
Episode 1, Turnabout Countdown. Now, all I have to do is pin everything on that little girl. December 17th, 9:22 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby. Number 5. Nope, not feeling nervous at all. It's amazing what a girl can get used to. Even in a tense atmosphere like this is no biggie. You doing okay, Athena? Oh, Apollo. Yeah, doing great. Like, I'm a little tune great. Oh yeah? Well, that's good to hear. Although, I could have sworn I heard your voice crack for a second there. Oof. I'm that transparent, huh? Cracking? No, my voice isn't cracking. Nerves of steel out here, I tell you. This is Apollo Justice. He's a fellow lawyer at the office I work for. Apollo is the lead for the defense in this case. But I'm going to be there on the bench with him, doing what I can to help out. I'll do whatever it takes to defend Junie. Speaking of steel, how are you holding up? That explosion really did a number on you. I'm just happy you're okay, Athena. Although, I can't pretend I have no connection to this case. That's why I'm going to see that Juniper's name is cleared. And I'm sure you feel much the same way. You got that right. I won't rest until Junie is completely cleared of all suspicion. Apollo? Athena? Thank you for doing this for me. Junie! Hey, are you okay? Sorry about that. I always seem to go into coughing fits whenever I get nervous. This kind of thing never happens at home in the forest, though. This is Juniper Woods. She's my dear childhood friend, and she's also our client for our case. Jesus. The news keeps repeating that Jeannie is the alleged bomber. But that's ridiculous. There's no way that Jeannie can do anything like that. I brought you a little snack, Thina. Just a little something from my garden. Hey, thanks. Is this an orange or a tangerine? It's an orange. My grandma says that orange is the color of strength and endurance. Oh, I get it. Strength is for the trial, right? Junie, you're always so good to me. Jeez, look at me. Standing here clutching an orange to my chest with tears in my eyes. Well, don't you worry. We'll be so powerful they won't know, and they don't know what hit them. Right, Apollo? Yeah, that's right. Come what may, this is one trial we just can't lose. Boom! Apollo! Apollo! Ugh. Blood is seeping through his bandages. One of his wounds must be reopened. All this time he tried to put on a brave face, but he's really overdoing it. Mr. Justice. Huh? The trial is about to start, sir. Please proceed to the courtroom. What? Now? But Apollo's in no state to defend. I have to defend Juniper. What are we gonna do? The trial's about to start with or without us. There's only one other option I can think of at a time like this. But even if I called him now, he'd never get here in time. No, wait. There's something else I can do. Apollo, give me all the evidence for this case. Huh? What are you gonna do? Bailiff? Yes, miss. The defense would like to submit a substitution of attorney petition. Thina, you're not seriously. You just concentrate on getting better. I'll defend Junie. All by yourself? Athena, stop for a second and think about what you're saying. You never once taken a case. Never once taken a case on alone before, right? No problema. I can handle it. I think. But I guess that's really up to you, Junie. Would you be okay with me taking over? Sure. I believe in you, Athena. And that's enough for me. For fuck's sake, this child. You're worried for me, aren't you? To be honest, I'm pretty nervous too. I think my heart might just burst out of my chest. But you're in no shape to stand at the bench now. So you'll just have to leave this to me. Fuck. Alright. I can see your mind's made up anyway. I hate that I can't be there, but I know you'll give your utmost to defend Juniper. You bet I will. Rest assured of that. My name is Athena Sykes. I'm still just a newbie, but I am a lawyer. This is only the second time I've taken the lead in a defense case. It'll be the first time I stand up there alone, though. I have to do this. And I'm definitely not about to let anything bad happen to Juniper. December 17th, 9:46 a.m. District Court, the courtroom number 5. Court is now in session. All rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Juniper Woods. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is also ready, Your Honor. Uh-huh. And what's the meaning of this? I was under the impression that Mr. Red Monkey would be my opponent today. Yes. Well, a substitution of attorney petition was submitted just a few moments ago. Due to the explosion in the courthouse yesterday, Mr. Justice is unable to continue. I see. Not all surprised he used that as an excuse to run away. With me as an adversary, who wouldn't want to feign illness in order to escape? What? The nerve of that guy. I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. Well, I would if I wasn't so nervous. Arrogant jerk. You arrogant jerk. Oh, no, Widget! Is my hearing getting worse? I could have sworn that I heard the defense say something just now. No, you didn't hear anything at all, especially not from me. How odd. I swear, I could have sworn I also heard something. Oh, that would just be my indispensable partner, Widget. He sometimes blurts out what I'm thinking. Well then. If that's the case, it's a clear contradiction to what you just stated. Contradiction? You just stated you said nothing. However, if the device of yours says what you're thinking, then you indeed said I was. What was it? Elegance at work? Yep. Actually, it was arrogant. At any rate, what does it matter that if it's a red monkey or a yellow monkey facing me? No fresh out of law school rookie can defend this witness. Mr. Payne, I believe that's enough. Let us get back to the case. Of course, Your Honor. I am more than ready to show this little girl why they call me the Rookie Humiliator. I know it. He's really an arrogant jerk. Arrogant jerk. Miss Sykes, if you continue to insult the prosecution, I will remove you from this court. I'm very sorry. It's just a knee-jerk reaction. Now then, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, if you please. Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, I can't keep doing like random-ass voices. Now then, the incident occurred yesterday here at this very courthouse in courtroom number 4. At that time, the trial for a certain bombing was held in courtroom number 4. Ah, yes, I was presiding over the trial as well. And Mr. Justice was there as the lawyer for the defense. A bomb that had been presented as evidence suddenly went off during that trial. It was a terrible incident, and courtroom number 4 was completely destroyed. Fortunately, we were able to start evacuation procedures before the explosion occurred. Just a few seconds more, and it would have turned into a horrific loss of human life. But there was in fact one death. Was there not? That is correct, Your Honor. When courtroom number 4 examined after the blast, the body of Detective Candace Arm. I'm trying to think of the pun there. What is the pun? Candace Arm. Okay. She was to take the stand as the witness later in the trial. I suppose she wasn't able to evacuate in time. What a terrible tragedy. I must admit, I stumbled at least 10 times myself before I was able to escape. Want to buy followers? Nope. Want to get banned? Yep. Maybe the court should see to getting you even shorter robes. The victim's body was found in the entrance, near the entrance of the courtroom. I suspect she stayed until the very end to help guide the others out safely. Your Honor, please allow me to submit as evidence the victim of the autopsy report. And details about the bomb. Arms autopsy report added to the courtroom. Cause of death. Trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object. Time of death between 8 and 11 a.m. Stuffed animal bomb. Added to the court record. The time bomb that destroyed the courtroom. It was hidden inside a stuffed animal when it was detonated. Okay, I know how this works. All evidence for the trial is filed in the court record. When I want to check something out, I just had to hit the court record button. Gasp in pain. I'd better take a peek later. Now then, please call the accused to the witness stand. Defendant, are you feeling alright? You look a bit pale. I'm so sorry, I was feeling a bit weak when I first arrived here at the courthouse. Courthouse. But I'm alright. Junie's really giving it her all. I better make sure I do the same. If we could please proceed, your name and occupation, defendant. Jennifer Woods, I'm a high school student. Miss Woods, can you confirm that you were in the courthouse in the day of questioning? Yes. I came to know apology justice through my friend, Thena. And so, I was there yesterday to watch his trial and lend my support. Something's wrong. Junie's really scared. Did you know I'm also known as the Defendant Humiliator? It looks like I have yet another chance to show everyone how I earned that moniker. Does this arrogance know no bounds? I have to protect Judy no matter what. Hey, Prosecutor Payne. What is it? Do you want me to demonstrate why I'm known as the Rookie Humiliator instead? Deep breaths, Athena. Don't let him get to you. Prosecutor Payne Jr. is telling the truth. Mr. Justice also backed her up her claim when we saw him in the defendant lobby. And Junie, he said that he'd be glad to get the lotus root you gave him too. He was? My grandma says lotus root is good for your eyes. She says they can even help you see into the future. They can? Well, that's a present for a lawyer. If that's true, then I guess he must not have eaten them. A sweet, meek girl like this blowing a courtroom to bits? I must say it's very hard to believe. Objection! Now then, Your Honor, don't let her seemingly innocent appearance fool you. The defendant had a motive for committing this crime. That's not true. I don't have any kind of motive. And I didn't even know the lady who was killed. I admit the investigation didn't turn up any connection between the victim and the defendant. However, that doesn't matter. The only thing that does matter is her objective was the destruction of the courtroom number 4 itself. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Why in the world would Miss Woods want to do that? That's a very good question, coming from a novice such as yourself. But first, a question for the defendant. Have you ever brought up on false charges? What? Well, why, yes. Yes, I have. And did that experience cause you to harbor a grudge against the court system? Wait just 1 minute. If that kind of thing was the motive for blowing things up, then every one of our clients would turn into bombers. That's a valid point. We wouldn't have a single courthouse left standing in the land. I can see the accused isn't the only one who might bear resentment from against the courts. But Mr. Woods isn't the only one who could possibly have committed the crime. Why? Because we have found some decisive evidence that proves the defendant's guilt. Decisive, huh? I'll believe it when I see it. It involves a very unique aspect of the bomb itself, Your Honor. And what exactly is so unique about it? Why don't we have Miss Sykes answer that question? Me? I notice you appear to be very nervous. And, well, gentleman that I am, I'd like to offer you the chance to gain some confidence with such an easy question. Could he be more condescending? Really, what a thoroughly unpleasant man. Alice for loser. Hold on. What did it just say? Nothing. Not a single thing. Now let's see. What was I supposed to do at a time like this? Oh, I know. The court record. The information I need is somewhere in the court record. Alright, Miss Sykes, let's hear your answer. What was unique about the bomb that blew up in the courtroom? Was it because it was inside a stuffed animal? Miss Payne, what kind of simpleton do you date before? It was stuffed inside a stuffed animal. Its evil intentions covered it by its cute exterior. Very good. Have a cookie. The bomb that went off in the courtroom was indeed hidden inside a stuffed animal. There, how you like that? Not bad, huh? I am fine. Just like I said from the start, I can do this. Yes, as I recall, the bomb was stuck inside a stuffed animal the whole time. I never even got to take a look at it. But what connection does this impish elephant have with the defendant? The answer to that question lies in another piece of evidence, Your Honor, which I have here. And what, pray tell, is this? It appears to be a little singed. It's a tale, Your Honor. The tale of a poor victim of this explosion. This is incredible. Are you saying it's Detective Arm's tale? Your Honor is so very close, but no. It belongs to the stuffed animal. It's called the Phony Fanta, a rather unpleasant name if you ask me. He's a mascot for a campaign to eliminate false evidence and false charges, is he not? Exactly. His motto is phony evidence is just trunked up. Just fucked up. Please hold. Yeah, looks like I will in fact have to buy a new uh boom arm. Well, that's unfortunate. There we go. Okay, good enough. Sorry for the delay. Not that it matters, because I only got one person in here watching, and... Actually, no, it's just me technically watching. Yeah, now I got nobody watching. Alright, that is wrong on so many levels. The phony Fanta's tail was made of vinyl cloth. And we found something very interesting on the surface. The defendant's fingerprints. No. What? The phony Fanta provided the prosecution with all the evidence we needed. This clearly proves the accused handled the bomb. Oh, Junie, no! But that doesn't make sense. Why would Junie's fingerprints be on it? That does appear to be a pretty irrefutable evidence. The court accepts this into evidence. Ms. Woods, do you have an explanation for this? I don't understand. How about you, Miss Sykes? Do you have any plausible explanation as to refute the decisive piece of evidence? Well, I can't do it. I can't think of a single thing. But I better come up with something for Junie's sake. If you can't produce an answer, we can always go straight to the ruling if you prefer. Ugh, no, I have to do something fast. Oh no, I can't get my voice to work. Why now of all times? I thought I overcame this already. Maybe I'm still not ready to stand in court.
As you can see, there is no room for debate.
Objection!
Why, it's you.
Why, it's you. Yeah. Sorry it took me so long to get here, Athena. Apollo explained the whole thing to me over the phone. He asked me to come here to help you in his place. Thanks for coming. I hate to admit it, but I was having a real tough time on my own. Oh, I don't know. I think you were doing just fine, all things considered. And you hung in there, giving me enough time to get there. Get here. Now let's turn this around. You got it, boss. Ho ho ho, look who showed up out of the blue. If it isn't Mr. Phoenix Wright, he always managed to surprise me. Your Honor, Mr. Payne called for an early ruling, but I believe there are still many things that need to be deliberated. How did Miss Wood's fingerprint wind up on the stuffed animal's tail? How was the bomb even detonated? Until these questions are answered, I assert it's impossible for a fair ruling to be made. You are absolutely right. Let us continue from where we left off. I assume you have no objections, Mr. Payne. Miss Woods really looks like she's having a hard time. Junie's really struggling, Mr. Wright. I get the sense she's afraid of the courtroom herself. Because of yesterday? Yeah. It's understandably very traumatic for her. Poor thing. And here she is, back at the courthouse again, being so brave. I'd like to make a request, Your Honor. If at all possible, I'd like to have Mr. Woods rest in the lobby. Given the defendant's condition. Very well. I grant special permission. You go get some rest, Junie, and leave the rest to us. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about this. Phoenix Wright. I've been looking forward to meeting you. It's been a while, Mr. Payne. You're more clueless than I had heard. I do believe you mean, how do you do? For I am Gaspin Payne. I am the younger brother of your long-standing rival, Winston Payne. What? Long-standing rival? When were we ever rivals, let alone long-standing? You'll see, Mr. Wright. I will cleanse Winston of the disgrace he met with at your hands. Looks like this is gonna be a royal. Look like blah 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 words. It looks like this royal pain is going to be as thoroughly unpleasant as the other. Your Honor, the prosecution would now like to call a decisive witness to the stand. The witness will testify as to how the accused detonated the bomb in the courtroom. Very well. Please call your witness, Mr. Payne. The hell? Witness, your name and occupation, please. Witness. Name. Ted 108. Occupation, bomb disposal specialist. Oh my, what a strange robotic voice you have. Speech synthesis via typing. It is the same as me talking. He sounds exactly like a robot. Can you speak in a normal manner? I can. He can. But I do not like to speak. Speaking is inefficient. Energy expenditure speaking. More than typing, understand? On an odd witness. Mr. Tonate was in charge of the bomb for that trial when it was there, and was there when it went off. Being a bomb specialist, do you have any relation to the defendant? Negative. I first met the girl while on this job. Many people are employed by the police. I know only a fraction of them. However, I was shocked when I first discovered the body of the victim. Shocked. I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. I went there to ensure safety, but ended up discovering a dead body. So he was the first one to discover the body, was he? He is here to testify about the circumstances surrounding the moment of the explosion. Very well. The court will hear Mr. Tonate's testimony. But at the very least, show this courtroom some respect and remove that face guard witness. Oh, Jesus! Put it back down. Put it back down. When the bomb went off, the bomb was originally disarmed by me and then transported here as evidence. Bomb name HH3000, operated by a timer or with a remote. I was watching from the gallery when suddenly became alarmed. I saw that the bomb's timer was counting down. So even though this bomb was supposed to be disarmed, it somehow got switched on? Precisely. Activating the timer is very simple. 1. Connect wires. 2. Switch on timer. A monkey could do it. I am sure even you would be able to, Mr. Wright. I guess that makes you the blue monkey in this barrel of fun, boss. I'd now like to begin my cross-examination. Huh? Mr. Tonate, what is that? HH3000, aka a bomb. A bomb? Great googly moogly! Yar, Tonate! I demand that you disarm it this instant. Disassembly complete. 5.3 seconds. 0.2 seconds short of my personal best. Are you trying to give me a heart attack? I'm not exactly a spring chicken, you know. This is an exact replica of the HH3000. It is used to practice disarming bombs. Disarm equals success. Explosion equal failure. An exact replica of the bomb that exploded, is it? So that's what it looked like. I submitted a photograph of the real bomb taken just before the trial. Dimensions 10 inches by 10 inches by 10 inches. Weight 12 pounds. A perfect replication. Your bomb does appear to be a very good copy indeed. However, I could not replicate the detonation mechanism. It is a very puzzling wiring setup. It is regrettable I could not replicate it. Witness, that's enough. There is no need to replicate anything here. And now, the defense would like to begin their cross-examination. Where's Miss Sights gone to? Athena, you can come out now. Okay, Mr. Wright. Let's get to work. I guess you're pretty scared, huh? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Serious about the bolt? Hey, put a sock in it, widget. As transparent as ever. Now, let's see. Where were we? We were at the cross-examination. Oh, cross-examination, of course. She seems disoriented. I wonder if she's alright. Maybe I should ask Athena if she remembers how to cross-examine to help her focus. Athena, you remember how to conduct a cross-examination, right? What? Of course I do. What kind of lawyer would I be if I didn't? Now, don't get upset. What do you say to humoring me with a little review? You got it. Basically, we examine a witness's testimony and compare it against the court record, searching carefully for any inconsistencies. This green text represents a witness's testimony. Touch the right arrow to advance to the next statement of the testimony. Touch the left arrow to go back to the previous statement. Pay close attention to the testimony, and when you've found an inconsistency, objection! Press the touch present to open the record. The court record contains information on all the evidence at our disposal. You can use it for the facts that conflict with what the witness has said. When you find something, present that evidence to refute the witness's statement. And what if nothing conflicts with the witness's testimony? Well, then you press that information. Find any inconsistencies or lies in the testimony, reveal them to the court. That's what the cross-examination is all about. Looks like you remembered it just as I taught it. And what a nice refresher course for me. If you can't find any contradictions, and you flub up too often, don't be afraid to ask me for help. Press X to consult. I'll let you know where I think the suspicious statement is. Sounds good. I'll be counting on you if I get into mine. Alright, it's cross-examination time.
Hold it!
You say you disarmed the bomb. Are you really sure it was disarmed? Absolutely. I can disarm anything. In a flash. That's not disarming, that's dismantling. That looks more... See? That looks more like a dismantle than disarm to me. Oh, pardon me. Let's see. Is there any chance you could have forgotten to disarm the bomb? Impossible. I do not make rudimentary mistakes like that. They say to err is human. Although, the jury is still out on this guy. If you must know, Mr. Wright, according to the court's own records, the fact that the bomb had indeed been disarmed was officially confirmed. I guess I can roll that out. Have that possibility forgot to disarm it. Can you talk about the bomb in a little more detail for the court, Mr. Snake? Certainly. Bomb name, HH3000. Operated by a timer or with a remote.
Hold it!
What was the approximate size and weight of the bomb? 10 inches in height, 10 inches in width, 10 inches in depth. There, is that better? I just came up with this thing like I did. I had stretched it. It's game capture. It's not a direct capture. Hold on, I'm still figuring things out here. View, screen layout. Oh well. Well, the reason I don't want to do that is I have that. I have these, the screens that I separated, but I just, like I said, I just came up with this layout like. I just kind of came up with it on the fly. God damn, Nightbot. I got all the fucking bots in now. Anyway. Hold on, let me see what the stream actually looks like. Okay, so it does look a little better. But then again, I'm looking at it at a. I am looking at it in a full screen, like 1920 by 1080. Ah, yes, here it is on the back. According to this, the case is made out of an alloy plating 5/16 of an inch thick. That certainly sounds like one thick and heavy bit of metal. I bet if I dropped that on your foot, you'd be hopping. If you dropped that thing anywhere, I'd be hopping for the nearest exit. Very well. I believe this court has heard enough about the court has heard enough about the bomb itself. So, Mr. Ternate, you were keeping an eye on the bomb. Where were you watching from? I was watching from the gallery when I suddenly became alarmed. Why were you in the gallery? My duties may have been over for the moment, but I wanted to keep watch. Even though the bomb was disarmed, you can never be too careful. Explosive devices are very dangerous things. Ah, how admirably responsible of you. A model to be emulated. I practice disarming bombs every day. Again, that's dismantling. I practice assembling them too. The disarming part, I get it, but assembling them... Well, I'll have you know, I practice presenting evidence every day myself. I see, but do you ever practice having evidence presented to you? Presented to me? What? No, Then you cannot very well call yourself a professional yet, can you? That does it. I'm gonna start practicing having evidence presented to me every day. And you better drink some coffee, boss. You're gonna be pulling an all-nighter. I don't think that will be necessary. Or worth either of our time. So, Mr. Turnabout, what did you witness from the gallery?
Hold it!
You saw it counting down clearly with your own eyes? I'd hardly think a timer as small as the one on this bomb could be seen from the gallery. These goggles help me see very small things clearly from very far away. I can even see what you have for breakfast by looking at your tie. Why do I suddenly feel like a bug under a magnifying glass? Oh, you're fine. Hey, what's going on, CT? Don't mind me real quick, I'm just trying to fine-tune some things. Yeah, actually, that does look a lot better. All right, as we were. I guess it's possible he saw the timer if he was wearing those goggles, but I'm not so sure. There's something that just doesn't sit right with me. I don't think I follow. The bomb was completely hidden inside the stuffed animal. So well concealed, in fact, it didn't even look like a bomb at all. You trying to find the testimony that... I found it. Yeah. Let's dismantle the bomb disposal. After that, it's just a matter of taking a look at the evidence. Yeah. I just wanted to press everything. Calm down, Athena. I got it. So I think that what state it was in at the time would be pretty important. A bomb that didn't look like a bomb because it was inside a stuffed animal, huh? Oh, I know. Oh, damn it. I just gotta remember it was that line. 1, 2, 3. There. Objection! Objection!
Objection!
I know. You say you saw the bomb's countdown, is that right? Of course. I clearly saw it counting down to 0. And I say that you are clearly lying. What are you talking about? There's no way you could have seen the bomb's timer. After all, the bomb was concealed inside a stuffed animal. Mr. Tornate, how can you claim to know the bomb was about to go off? No, I wish I did. I don't even have a functioning 3DS anymore. This is actually emulated through Citra. Trust me, I wish I could be doing this through legitimate hardware. I own the game, I just can't do anything with it. Katsuki used to be doing it for a while. But then I think he stopped. Murky, that's what I was just looking up. Yeah, Katsuki's new 3DS XL USB capture hub, or capture card. Alright, Zara. What? No! That doesn't seem like a glaring inconsistency indeed. Your witness, how do you explain this? Well, Ooh, that was great, Mr. Wright. You found a contradiction right off the bat. It only took me 3 runs of the damn thing because I kept typing too fast. Clicking too fast. Always remember, Athena, when you find an inconsistency in a witness's statement, there's always a reason behind it. It could be a lie, a hidden meaning, a secret, whatever it is, it's up to us to dig it out. And pointing out every contradiction we find is the best way to do it, right, boss? Now the question is, what can we dig out of Mr. Sonate? Well, let me see. No. There must be some mistake. Oh, yes. Yes, of course. I remember now. The sound. I knew because of the sound. Sound? What sound? When the timer of this particular type of bomb is switched on, it beeps softly. Beep, beep, beep. It is the sound of the bomb counting down. A beeping sound. A beeping noise, you say? Well, I suppose it could be possible to notice that even with the bomb inside of a stuffed animal. I simply made a mistake. My B.
Objection!
How in the world did you hear such a tiny little sound from all the way up in the gallery? Listening for the sound of a bomb's timer is an integral part of my work. I constantly undergo training so that I will never miss it. I hardly think training would help you hear something so soft from so far away. What now? Are you making light of the fine science of disarming bombs? It is a solemn mission that I put my life on the line to perform. What kind of specialist would I be if I could not hear a bomb's timer? It's not like disassembling a toaster, you know. Now you're just showing off. You keep asserting that the sound was too tiny to hear, but only the tiny thing here is your skill as a lawyer. Being suspicious is not an attractive quality, you know. And you're just overflowing with attractive qualities, aren't you? Or perhaps you have some proof that Mr. Ternate did not hear the sound. Well, no, but it still seems totally suspect. But it's really going to be hard to prove. It's going to be really hard to prove that he didn't hear something. If I have this correct, well, remember the pun of his name is Ted Tonate. Detonate. If I have this correct, the prosecution's argument is that someone reactivated the bomb before it was brought into the courtroom. What I don't understand, Mr. Payne, is why you believe that the person is Miss Woods. Just like, what's his nuts here? Payne, Gaspin? Yeah, Gaspin Payne. His brother, Winston Payne. I don't know what... Because, like, everybody that's, like, a side character in a profile in some capacity has a pun in their name, right? Almost. What's hers? What is Candace Arm? Juniper Woods makes total sense because she lives in a forest. That's simple, Your Honor. Mr. Tonate happened to be there when it happened. He was there when the defendant rearmed the bomb. What's this now? It happened before the trial started. It was when the Detective Arm and I were transporting the bomb. We brought the bomb to the lobby for the defense. Bomb equals evidence. The lawyer wanted to see it before the start of the trial. Looking for a chance to get at the bomb, Miss Woods was already there in that lobby. Her goal was surely to rearm the bomb and steal the remote switch. The remote switch. Yes, the switch that controls the bomb remotely. Duh. It has been missing ever since the incident. That seems counterintuitive. Yes, I understand. They acknowledge the fact that it is missing and stolen. However, it was just added to the court record. I am partially to blame. I left the bomb and remote on top of the transport case, and they rearmed and stolen while I was talking for the lawyer. The defendant then used the remote to inside the courtroom to start the timer.
Objection!
How could you assert so unequivocally that the bomb was rearmed in the lobby?
Objection!
The bomb was safely secured in the transport case. The only time it was outside of the case was inside the lobby. Therefore, that was the one and only opportunity anyone had time to meddle with. Someone other than Mr. Tonate could have opened the case and taken the bomb out. Impossible. The transport case is assigned exclusively to me. Do you see this number here? That is my identification number. And I have the only key that can open the case. Nevertheless, Mr. Payne's assertion is nothing more than conjecture. You have no proof that it was Miss Woods who stole the remote switch. And by the same token, you have no proof that it wasn't her. But what I do have is a piece of evidence that proves the defendant handled the bomb. Ah, that tail! 5 minutes, 24 seconds, 2.3 deciseconds. The defense advantage lasted a mere 5 minutes. Talk about a rotten hand. As long as they have her fingerprint on the trump card, I'm at a big disadvantage. It appears we will have to hear from the defendant herself once more. I wholeheartedly agree, Your Honor. I would like to recall Miss Woods to the stand. I trust you have no objections, Mr. Wright? On the other hand, I'm not sure I want to make Athena mad. I can read your feelings, you know, boss. I guess there's no hiding from her, huh? Don't worry, I know we need her testimony. But if anybody picks on her again, they'll pay. Guess she's already anger level 1. Don't worry, I'll stop the proceedings before I let anything bad happen to her. The defense has no objections, Your Honor. In that case, I will take my leave. But before I do, there's just one more thing, Mr. Wright, is it? Me? Yes. Dismantling bombs is my job. Dismantling the case is yours. Do you think you can handle it? I look forward to seeing you try. This guy is hiding something, I just know it. Now, if you will excuse me. Like, that shit-eating grin he came out with. If it wasn't obvious before that he did it, or make you think he did it. Jesus Christ. Bailiff, please go out to the lobby and bring back the defendant. Junie. Hi, Athena. Mostly. Like, I played most of the, I played like a quarter of it and then my 3DS died. Mostly, from what I remember anyway. So it's like 75-80% blind. It looks even worse off than before. Don't worry, Junie, we're here for you. Thanks, Tina. And I'll do my best too. You blew up the whole courtroom because you bear resentment against the courts, correct? No, of course not. What's that you say? I can barely hear you. I haven't done anything wrong. The prosecutor's scary.
Objection!
What an impudent little girl. Stop acting innocent and tell the truth. It's getting ugly. You rearmed the bomb because you wanted to blow the courthouse. Admit it. And that's why you went to the lobby where Mr. Justice was, is that right? Mr. Wright, can I go give that prosecutor a smack? What? Of course not. Do we have to review courtroom manners 101 again? We can't let a creep that bullies innocent girls like this off so easily. I haven't forgotten about how he treated you. Don't worry about me, just help Junie. Her heart's crying out. Actually, I need to do something right quick. I'm not leaving. I'm just I know it looks horrible like that, but I wanted to have that in there. Her heart's crying out. She's so scared, so very scared. I didn't want to add in my the follow thing or the socials thing that I had at the bottom for on my primary screen. I'm just switching over real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. You know, this thing that I'm moving around. I didn't want to add that over. Looks like Athena's picking up something, picking something up with her heightened sense of hearing, and it sounds like this time it's the voice of Miss Woodsheart. Don't deny it. You stole the remote switch and used it in the courtroom, didn't you?
Objection!
Your Honor, please put a stop to this. Mr. Payne is badgering the defendant. Actually, can I configure... I was seeing if I could. I was seeing if I could configure the audio for like the microphone, because I want to hold down. Okay, so you can't find this series anymore. KZ Excellent did a fantastic playthrough of this the first few games, and he gave some phenomenal voice acting, and I hate that he deleted it. He deleted the videos. KZ Excellent. And he had some wonderful voice acting, which was surprising given his he has a very rather deep voice. So the judge's voice was just basically him talking, kind of, but as you said, a dork. So it was like more shocked a lot, kind of dense. He gave Edgeworth like this posh British accent. He gave, and then his what was the German's name? Not Frau, or not the woman, but the other one. Oh fuck, the one that had the band. Yeah, whatever. I'll remember it. Anyway, the point stands. I hate that he has stopped doing that series and he got rid of it altogether. Mr. Payne, I asked that you behave more like a gentleman. Don't you know, Your Honor, there is no more a gentle man in this world than I. As if a gentleman or even a gentle man will behave like he does. Don't let that rude ruffian win. Athena! How dare you call a gentleman such as I a rude ruffian? I'll have you know I attend a manners class every Saturday. I'm more than just a mere gentleman. I am a genteel man. Not when you're terrorizing a young lady, you're not. I demand my money back from that manners class if I were you. Yeah. I should probably be the adult here and stop the two of them, but... Mr. Payne, that will be enough. Certainly, Your Honor. No further questions. Let's move to the defendant's testimony. Miss Woods, please share with the court what you were doing when the bomb went off. Got him! Oh, okay. Sorry, I had to stretch. Ow. Fuck. My back. Well, that day, I was watching from the gallery. The bomb went off. And rubble started falling. It fell on top of me. Wow. Riveting. Just watching the... So I was watching the volume mixer in OBS. And it for every letter that popped up, it was just ting 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 ting. It looked like friggin' Morse code going off. Like visualized. It was like visualized Morse code. Junie's clearly in pain, being forced to recall the bombing like this. She can't even get her words out. This isn't gonna work, so what now? Hey, wait a minute. Even if she can't vocalize what to say, we can listen to what's inside her heart. Yes, now's the perfect time to use Athena's power. Yeah, I remember when that came out too. You can hear it, can't you, Athena? The cries in Miss Wood's heart? Yes, and they sound incredibly strained. She's so scared, I think she could collapse at any second. Athena has a unique ability, you see? With her finely tuned sense of hearing, she could hear the words of the witness's heart. In essence, she could sense how a person is really feeling from the tone of her voice. Of their voice, rather. Guess it's all up to Athena and her special ability now. Athena, I want you to use analytical psychology you studied and listen to the testimony of Miss Woods' heart. Got him, boss. After all, this is the whole reason I put all that effort into studying analytical psychology. Oh, yes. Let's do this. I want to know if I actually said that right. More than likely not. Off. Get. Oh. That's German for here we go. Off. Gets. Close enough. Shorthand. No. I pulled up, okay, so it's... So, strangely enough... Off get... without the apostrophe S means go on. Alright? But if you add an apostrophe, just the apostrophe after the T, it changes to let's go. If you add the apostrophe S, it changes it to here we go.
Auf geht's. Auf geht's.
The bitch got mad at me. So
Auf geht's. Auf geht's.
the more you press it, the more pissed off it sounds.
Auf geht's. Auf geht's. Auf geht's. Auf geht's. Here we go. Here we go.
The fact that I'm amused by that is sad. And the fact that I think it's kind of cool that I don't know if I could say cool. Like the fact that I was close enough. I just used the wrong variation, I guess variant of E. You know, instead of I used what would be a shorty, shorties, longies, short vowels, long vowels. What the devil's going on here? So your holographic thingamabob can show us how Miss Woods is feeling, right? In a nutshell, yes. The emotions and images that I picked up on this just now while listening to her testimony, I can enter it all into widget and use the mood matrix to analyze them. These mood markers here reflect the fluctuations in Junie's emotions. When she feels happy or is enjoying the memory, the happy marker will light up. When she feels angry or frustrated, the angry marker will react. If she's scared or saddened by memory, the sad marker will blink. If she's shocked, feels surprised or confused, the surprise marker will let us know. So, with your special ability and Widget's Mood Matrix program, we could track Miss Wood's feeling as she testified. Talk about the wonders of technology. I'm picking up on some kind of Discord. I'm not part of any Discord with her. She's lying. I'm not part of any attorney Discord. Or noise in Judy's heart. See here? This is what the noise looks like in the mood matrix. It's a result of inconsistencies between her testimonies and her feelings. If we can pinpoint these inconsistencies, the noise levels should drop. Okay, it's time to listen to Miss Wood's true testimony. Well, that day, I was watching from the gallery when the bomb went off and rubble started falling. It fell on top of me. She's surprised that she's happy about it. I think I got a good grasp on Junie's emotional state now. The power of Athena is incredible. And I've seen an unexpected emotion that is inconsistent with the content of her testimony. Already? It fell on top of me! Well, look at that. That is odd. There must be a reason for this contradictory emotion. We just need to do some digging. When you find an unexpected emotion, touch pinpoint and select the unexpected emotion or reaction for the 4 moon markers. Widget is registering joy when Miss Woods recalls the rubble falling on her. There must be a reason for this unexpected emotion. Miss Woods, as the rubble was falling, was there also something that made you feel happy? What? Mr. Wright, the feeling of happiness is spreading throughout Junie's heart. Keep going at this point. I bet Junie will start to calm down. Great. Let's hear what she has to say. Just as I was about to escape the courtroom, the bomb went off. I was so startled, I tripped. And then rubble started falling on top of me. I really thought I was done for. But, what the hell? I'm just gonna let this go. I'm gonna let her knit forever. Alright, I can't let her knit forever. But just then, Apollo came and rescued me. Apollo? He used his own body to shield me from the rubble. So that's when he sustained those injuries. How do you feel, Junie? Did talking about Apollo give you some courage? Yes, Apollo is just like the sun, strong and bright and warm. Somebody's got a crush. Just talking about him makes me feel like a leaf undergoing photosynthesis. I'm sorry, what now? I mean, I get the source material, but I don't understand how. Are you trying to say just talking about him gives you energy? Is that the analogy here? Or the metaphor? Simile? Simile? Yeah, simile, that's the one. And see, your coughing stopped all of a sudden. Sorry, I failed English, damn it. English was my nap time. Oh, you're right. Thank you, Thina. Looks like we were able to draw out some new testimony. Pretty neat, huh? But there's still some noise left, meaning there's still some discord in Junie's heart. Man, that Discord server's popping. Well, I guess we'll have to keep going then. Let me input this new information and update the mood matrix and we'll be good to go. You remember what to do, right? Find an unexpected emotion, I should pinpoint it. And then you select the There we go. Then we should be able to draw out even more new testimony. Info update. I tried to run, but I was too slow. Before I could get away, the bomb went off. I was so startled that I tripped and rubble started falling on me. I thought I was done for. When we view blah blah blah. When we view your emotions alongside the testimony, we find this unexpected emotion. Wait a minute. There really isn't anything strange here. I don't know, but I think maybe we made a mistake, Apollo. Or Wright. I think maybe you're right. Let's take another look. There must be an unexpected. It's a saddened. You were happy when Mr. Justice rescued you, weren't you? Yes, I was really happy. But was there also something that you felt sad about at the same time? Sad. The reason I ask is, when you were describing how you were rescued, we sensed a little sadness too. Oh, I think it's probably because of Bum Rap Riney. What? Who the fuck is Bum Rap Riney? Yeah, well, you know, something new. Well, that's right. I brought my stuffed animal, Bum Rap Riney, to watch the trial with me. Bum Rap Riney and Phony Fanty are brothers. The hell? Who knew that the legal world could inspire? How is a rhinoceros and an elephant related? For the sake of brevity, I'm just gonna go brr. I had brr here with me while I was watching the trial. But it wasn't until Apollo saved me that I realized I had lost him when I was running away. My poor Riney, a victim of that terrible bomb. Oh, I know. You can see what he looks like in this poster. No more bum raps. It was for the campaign to eradicate fake evidence and false charges. Phony Fanty and Brr, huh? Nothing against the campaign, but why an elephant and a rhinoceros? Mr. Wright, I don't sense any discord in Junie's heart anymore. Damn it, they shut the server down. So I guess that means we managed to draw out all of our testimony. That's right. I'll always make an update with the new info and we'll have the whole picture. So do you think our new testimony will help? Absolutely. I don't know what would have been done without you. So Burr was in that courtroom after the bomb went off. Now that we know that, it changes the meaning of that other piece of evidence. All I have to do is present it as the right statement. I was watching from the gallery with Burr when I tried to run. It was too slow. Before I can get away the courtroom, the bomb went off. I was so startled that I tripped and the rubble started to fall. I thought it was done for. And Apollo came and rescued me.
Objection!
Miss Woods, I know this trial has been very hard for you. But you can relax now. You are without a doubt innocent. Mr. Wright, what wild assertion are you making now? My wild assertion is simply this. The two stuffed animals were mixed up. The tail the defendant's fingerprints were found on wasn't that of Phony Fanty. It was the tail of her gallery companion, Burr.
Objection!
What? What nonsense is that? I can see they're both stuffed animals, yes, but they're completely different characters. An elephant and a rhino. They're as distinct as a defense lawyer and a prosecutor. But are they really so different? Both defense lawyers and prosecutors strive to protect the peace through law. And even elephants and rhinos have their similar characteristics. They're both gray, for example. Anyway, this poster is all I need to prove that my assertion to be true. If I may direct the court's attention here, you can clearly see how the two got mixed up.
Take that!
Well, would you look at that? The two tails are exactly the same. Yes, exactly. The two stuffed animals are based on entirely different animals, but the design of their tails is exactly the same. Ah! Gasp in pain. Order in the court. As long as the possibility exists that the tail belongs to Bum Rap Riney, we can no longer consider the decisive evidence the defendant handled the bomb. As things stand, I consider these charges against the accused unsubstantiated. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Payne? Oh, yes, of course, Your Honor. Oh, that was great, Mr. Wright. Ooh, you turned things right around. My hair! Seems, male pattern baldness runs in the Payne family. Yeah, it's not over yet, but at least we managed to hold out this long. I believe that our proceedings today for today to a close. Mr. Payne, I'm afraid you have some serious investigating ahead of you. Yes, Your Honor. Very well. Let us reconvene tomorrow. Court is adjourned. Ow. December 17th, 11:56 a.m. District Court, Lobby number 5. That was so exciting, boss. We did it. True to form, you managed to just barely pull it off at the very last moment. True to form? Gee, I never knew you had such a glowing opinion of me. Thank you for everything you're doing. You did great, Woods. Miss Woods, you really stuck it out. And you really got blah, 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 blah. You really got brave at the end, just when we needed you most, Junie. Thanks to you, we were able to turn things around. Well, you were the one who gave me that courage, Dana. Really? Thanks. So, be honest, was I any help at all? Of course. Without you, we would have never gotten out of that tight spot. That's good to hear. I may still have a lot to learn, but you can count on me, but you can bet I'm going to give it my all. I'll be so good one day you'll call me your partner. That's what I like to hear. Analytical psychology, the ability to solve riddles of a person's heart. Athena's true potential is really beginning to really shine through now. Hey, where's Apollo anyway? Good question. I almost forgot about him. I assumed he'd still be here in the lobby. Oh, I know. Maybe he's still in courtroom number 4. Courtroom number 4? What would he be doing at the scene of the explosion? When I came out of the lobby to rest, I told Apollo about bum rap Riney. I told him I dropped Riney in the courtroom when I was trying to escape before the blast. And then Apollo said he had an idea where Riney might be, so we went to take a look together. Huh. I guess Apollo can be pretty nice when he wants to be. So you went to look for Riney together before you were called back into courtroom number 5? Yes. I had some time to rest, so I was able to go and look for him. But then they called me into the courtroom to testify. Apollo insisted on staying there, though. With all those injuries, I wonder how he's managing. I think Apollo might have figured something out. Wonder what it was. He told me, I'm going to look for evidence to clear your name, Juniper. Just maybe he found some piece of evidence. Anyway, we better go and get him. Good idea. December 17th, 12:11 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. So it took them, what, roughly 20 minutes to get from courtroom number 5 to courtroom number 4?
Where are you, Apollo? Trial's over for today. Come on, I know you're... No.
Oh, he's fine. We walk things off like that. We walk those off around here. He's alright. December 18th, 9:34 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 5. This isn't exactly how I envisioned the second day of this trial to start. But given how things ended yesterday... Good morning. The mood sure is tense. Not that it's a surprise. Oh, hey, did you read the paper this morning, boss? Huh? The paper? That came out of left field. You didn't read it? Then you don't know the big news. Somebody spotted the abominable snowman way up in the mountains. Tell me you know the difference between a paper and a tabloid, Athena. It might show up in the forest where you live, Junie. But you better watch out. Just like, the fuck? You really should read the story for yourself. I couldn't even begin to do it justice. Justice? Huh? Oh, poor Apollo! It's all my fault. Athena! Oh, Julie, what was I thinking? I'm so sorry. What we found yesterday was not Apollo's dead body, thank goodness. He had been assaulted by somebody with a blow to the head, and he was lying unconscious. We rushed him to the hospital right away, and it looks like he's going to pull through. But it was still quite the shock to stumble onto a scene like that. Is Miss Woods alright, Athena? Well, I managed to get her to stop crying. Now she's resting on that sofa over there. I guess she really feels responsible for what happened to Apollo. Poor Junie. She believes that the reason Apollo was attacked is because he was helping her look for something in the courtroom. Oh, I guess I can see why she'd think that. By the way, how are you doing? Who, me? Yeah, you. I know you're concerned about Miss Woods, but are you alright? Me? I'm doing just fine, boss. I mean, yeah, it was a huge shock. But I'm alright. People who study analytical psychology are great at times like these. After all, they learn how to control their own emotions too. Somehow, I don't think it's that easy as she's making it sound. But there's no denying she's a real trooper. Apollo doesn't remember a thing, does he? Yeah, he can't recall anything from the time before he was assaulted. Nothing about what he was doing in courtroom 4, or who assaulted him. The doctor said it's probably due to that hit he took to the head. Assaulted in the court of law, and losing your memory at that. I know how that feels. But who in the world would do such a thing, Mr. Wright? Just wait till I get my hands on the coward who hurt our Apollo. Now, Athena. I thought you were in control of your emotions. Let's just focus on helping Woods, right? But I admit, I am just as upset as you. Okay, boss, you're right. Apollo's assailant can wait until we clear Junie's name. That's the spirit. Now, let's see. I better check court record one more time before trial starts. Yeah, I hate that feeling. If memory serves, when I have more than 6 pieces of evidence, I should be able to switch pages with Bam or Bam. Or to Mr. Wright, I'm ready whenever you are. Alright, let's get ready to rumble. You bet. With everything that happened with Apollo, I didn't have time for a proper investigation. I can't let that stop me, though. I have to get this right for Miss Wood's sake and Apollo's, too. What are these buttons you speak of? Day 2 court is now in session. All rise for the judge. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready, Your Honor. Now then, I believe I instruct the prosecution to further their investigation. Were you able to locate the remote switch in question? Oh yeah. That I'm totally using that. Shifty eyes. I'm afraid the remote switch is still missing, Your Honor. I must say I'm disappointed, Mr. Payne. Not angry, just disappointed. I apologize, Your Honor. Aha, looks like the prosecution is just as unprepared as I am. There is a separate matter, however, that I would like to bring up during this trial. A separate matter, you say? He's totally a dad. He's totally a dad. I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed that you got caught. And what might that be? I assume you're aware that another incident occurred during yesterday's trial. I'm speaking, of course, on the assault of Mr. Justice during the ruins of courtroom number 4. Oh, why is he bringing that up? Yes, what a truly harrowing experience it must have been. Poor Mr. Justice. At the time of the attack, Mr. Justice was not alone. He was with the defendant, Miss Juniper Woods. He isn't going where I think he is going, is he? The prosecution wishes to indict Miss Woods on the charge. God damn it. You were... Okay, so you're... So you clearly are trying to pin this on the premise solely on the fact that she was merely in the room with him. But you called her back. And she clearly has infatuation for Apollo. You're dense. You dense bastard. Now you're grasping at straws. Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the incident under deliberation under deliberation here is the courtroom bombing. The assault on Mr. Justice has nothing to do with the trial. Ah, but I believe there is a connection between this case and Mr. Justice's assault. Please take a moment to consider these facts. Both events occurred in courtroom number 4. This is the location this is the location in courtroom number 4 where the unconscious Mr. Justice was discovered. As you can see, it's quite close to where Detective Arm's body was found. The question is, why did the culprit feel the need to maliciously attack Mr. Justice? First of all, I need to actually get a better look at this. You're about right. Why indeed? What do you believe is to be their motive? I believe Mr. Justice found something in that courtroom while Miss Woods was with him. Evidence that fingered her as the perpetrator in the bombing. So, you mean to say he found some incriminating evidence? Precisely. And so I surmise that the defendant picked up a piece of rubble and hit Mr. Justice on the back of the head in order to silence him.
Objection!
Justice would never do such a thing. She was devastated when we found Apollo hurt like that. Miss Sykes, please control your outbursts. It is the prosecution's belief that by deliberating on Mr. Justice's assault, we will draw ever closer to the truth of the courtroom bombing itself. Very well. Ms. Woods is hereby officially indict. Yeah, I had it right the first time. For some reason, I felt like there was another syllable involved. Indict. On the charge of assaulting Mr. Justice. What? Why are you even listening to Mr. Toupee over there? Although, considering our conversation yesterday, I think Apollo might have figured something out. I wonder what it was. He told me, I'm going to look for evidence to clear your name within this flashback. Maybe the two really are related after all. I would like to start by hearing the story from the defendant herself. Very well, bailiff. Please bring Miss Woods out to the stand. I'm sorry. I can't seem to stop. Miss Woods. Guess she's still really upset about Apollo. Miss Woods, you went to the ruins of courtroom number 4 with Mr. Justice, did you not? Yes, I did. Good, good. Very good. If you would then, please testify about what happened in the court. During the trial yesterday, I was overcome by a fit of coughing. Apollo stayed with me, and we went to the courtroom ruins together. But then I was called back to this courtroom to give testimony. Apollo insisted on staying behind in the courtroom number 4. I swear I didn't attack Apollo. Why would I ever hurt such a kind person? So Mr. Justice stayed by your side while you were feeling unwell? What an admirable young man. I can English. Admirable young man. I thought his loud voice was the only outstanding feature. He may look a little imp at times, but Apollo can be really nice too. I hope she didn't hurt her wrist backhanding that one out. But one has to wonder, why did Mr. Justice stay behind in the ruins? I think Apollo might have figured something out. Something? What kind of something? Something to do with the courtroom bombing, some kind of something, I think. Oh ho! New evidence for the case, was it? That's a very big kind of something, indeed. Indeed. I believe so. He mentioned looking for some evidence when I was called away.
Objection!
Just as I thought, there is a connection between the two. But the defendant has told a very big lie, Your Honor. What lie is that? When she learned Mr. Justice would be looking for evidence, she attacked him. She attacked him to give herself a chance to destroy that evidence. No, I would never. Miss Woods repaid Mr. Justice's kindness with violence. We have the... What? What on earth? Do you see it? There in front of Mr. Justice's hand. Why? Is that word? Why is his name so hard for me to say? With an apostrophe S. Justices. Fuck's sake! It's like trying to listen to a Swede say literally. It's hilarious. Should try it sometime. Witness the message he left for us. It's written in blood. W-O-O-D-S-Y. Isn't that? That's right, Your Honor. It says Woods in capital letters. What? I submit that Mr. Justice left us with the name of his attacker before he fainted. No, that can't be true. Why would Apollo write my name? The nerve of him leaving that message. Why would he leave that? Hey, don't take it out on me. I don't understand any more than you do. When we discovered Apollo's body yesterday. Apollo. No. We didn't even have a chance to rush over to him. As soon as security heard Athena scream, they ran in and cordoned off the area. After that, they were there in the courtroom with Apollo the whole time. We couldn't investigate anything ourselves and had to leave everything to the police. Still, I never thought they would find some bloody writing there. Now then, please begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Do you always cough when you get nervous, Miss Woods? Yes. Mr. Wright, please do not make Miss Woods nervous by pressing her so ruthlessly. But that barely even qualified as a quasi-question. Let's help her relax with a little small talk before we dive into cross-examination. You know, ask her about her hobbies and her crushes and stuff. Her crushes? Really? I don't know about this. Why exactly did you go to the courtroom ruins? We went to look for my medicine to stop my coughing. Your medicine? Why would your medicine be in courtroom number 4? I dropped it in the heat of the moment. Bum Rab writing, he was keeping my medicine safe for me. He has a little compartment that I can put things in, you see. And Phony Fanta has the same type of pocket. That's where the bomb was inserted. I had put my medicine for my coughing fits inside Bum Rap writing. When I told Apollo about it, he said he would help me go look for him. There was so much rubble in there, I was worried, but there was no rubble or anything in front of the witness stand. So when we got inside, Apollo went straight there and started looking for my writing in that area. It was so nice of him to do that for me in spite of all his injuries. Apollo is so strong and kind, it's like the trees of the forest. The way she makes him sound, you'd think Apollo was some kind of ancient god. Oh wait. So that's why you went to the ruins, I see. It would be quite an important fact. Please add it to your testimony, Ms. Woods. The area around the witness stand. Are you sure about that? I'm sorry. Did I say something wrong? No, of course not. I was just testing my hearing. Must not upset her. Must not upset her. Yes, I'm sure that's where we search first. That's when you were called to the stand after Mr. Tonate's testimony, right? Yes, the bailiff came to courtroom before and brought me to this courtroom. And what about Mr. Justice? Did he come with you or did he stay behind? Apollo insisted on staying behind.
Hold it!
Do you have any hobbies, Miss Woods? Hobbies? Oh, well, I love growing vegetables in my garden. And I love to knit. I like sewing, too. I made this outfit myself. Keep it up, Mr. Wright is working. Now ask her if she has a crush on anyone. So, is there anyone in particular you like right now?
Objection!
Mr. Wright, is this question even remotely related to this case? This case? Not really. Mr. Wright, you will refrain from asking questions unrelated to the case at hand. Sorry, Your Honor. I just wanted brownie points. Miss Woods, please continue your testimony. I believe you were telling the courtroom about your attack on Mr. Justice.
Hold it!
So you think Mr. Justice is kind? Yes, very kind. He rescued me. He's like the sun, strong and warm. He makes me feel so strong, too. The only adjectives I associate with sun are sweltering and oppressive. But then Apollo got hurt, and it's all my fault! Junie, Apollo's gonna be fine. Just like the sun, right? Well, the sun didn't just drop out of the sky. You really think he'll be fine? But the sun does go down at night. Well, then that means Apollo could... Mr. Payne? I did not think much of men who make young ladies cry. Got him. So Apollo was trying to help Juniper. Who knew that Apollo could be such a sweetheart? It must have been pretty hard on him too, with all that rubble everywhere. Now that I think about it, there was something odd about what Apollo was able to do. You know, considering what Miss Woods said just now, I think you're right. The courtroom was in a very unusual state after all, which leaves a million-dollar question. What would explain this contradiction? Anyway, let's see what happens when I present what I suspect to be our answer.
Objection!
So he started to search with the witness stand, you say? That's right. I guess maybe he wanted to start from the furthest point in the room? He was being so brave and strong. But that's odd. Under the circumstances, he shouldn't have been able to do that. He shouldn't be capable of doing that. But he was, and he still is. He might not look it, but he really is brave and kind, too. That's not what I meant. That's not the part I'm finding fault with. Someone has a crush on Apollo. What you're claiming is something that no one should have been able to do. But I should think anyone can be brave and kind if they wanted to be, Mr. Wright. True, anyone can be brave and kind. But if you would please take a look at the diagram. With the courtroom in this state, how could anyone possibly walk up to the witness stand? Oh. I see your point. The rubble blocks off to the area around the witness stand. So does such a tiny inconsistency even matter? Perhaps the witness is simply misremembering it. Oh, great. Now I'm not so sure it matters. A real man doesn't make mountains out of molehills, you know. But that's precisely what Mr. Wright does best. I call slander, Your Honor. So was it really impossible to approach the witness stand? I have to say, it's a bit hard to tell with any accuracy just from this diagram. Mr. Payne, do you have any other photos of the crime scene? Let me see, Your Honor. Ah, yes. One more. Well, that doesn't help any. Huh? What's that hunk of metal on the wheels? Oh, hunk of metal on wheels. Mr. Payne, is the metallic object in that photo Mr. Sinead's bomb transport case? That's right. Is there some problem? Ah, yes, that transport case was there in the courtroom when it went off. It must have been there ever since. Oh, that's it. Miss Woods, have you remembered something? Yes, I just realized its position is different from before. Its position? The position of what? The position of that big metal thing. The bomb transport case? Yes. When Apollo and I were there, it was in a different place. Where the case wasn't, as in the photo, is open space, so it's easy to search the stand. So, where was the transport case when you and Mr. Justice saw it? As I recall, I think it was more to the right. To the right? And that means, in that case, the case was over there at the time of Apollo's attack. Who cares where the transport case was when? What difference does that make? It has nothing to do...
Objection!
Where the transport case has everything to do with this discussion. In fact, it's so important, it's enough to turn the prosecution's argument on its ear. What? Well, that certainly sounds very relevant indeed. And you sound as though you know where the case was at the time of the attack. Yes, Your Honor, the diagram represents the crime scene. This diagram represents the crime scene as shown in the photo. This is where the transport case was at the time.
Take that!
Your Honor, I assert that this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault. But that's inconceivable! You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. Miss Woods, was this where the transport case was when you saw it? Yes. Yes, that's where it was. Thank you, Miss Woods. I'm sure the court has noted an interesting fact about this position. The transport kit covers up where the writing was in blood. Exactly. If the transport case was in that position at the time of the assault, then no message could have been written there because the case was in the way. Which leads us to conclude that Mr. Justice couldn't have left that bloody writing. Why should we believe the defendant's claim that the case was in a different position? She's obviously lying.
Objection!
The fact that this case was moved after the assault on Mr. Justice is proved by more than Miss Wood's testimony alone. What? And where is this proof you're talking about? It's right here in the crime photo. I'm keen to see this proof myself, Mr. Wright.
Take that!
All the proof you need is right here. No, I didn't take a stab with the dart. I know where to click it. That bitch just didn't register. I think what it did, it registered the,
Take that!
What? So,
Take that!
okay, am I missing something here?
Take that!
Okay, I gotta be missing something.
Take that!
Yo, like, you can clearly see.
Take that!
Yo, like, okay. Okay, I'm getting. Okay, what's the case name? Countdown. Oh, the area of the buddy riding.
Take that! Take that!
What? Oh.
Take that!
God damn it. I see, but the mark was made by one of the casters from the transport case carrying the bomb. As the case was moved, it ran over his bandages. In other words, the transport case was originally to the right of Mr. Justice. Then, after Mr. Justice was assaulted, the transport case was moved. What? Just as Mr. Woods said, The case was covering the writing at the time of the assault. Therefore, it was impossible for Mr. Justice to have left that message in blood. Nah. You did it, boss. That was a real nail-biter, but you pulled it off. Yep, that should bring down the prosecution's claim with the House of Cards. Order in the court, Mr. Wright. That was a very clear deduction. Oh, it was nothing, Your Honor. Nothing but pure genius. Boss, I'm sensing a definite smug and braggy vibe coming off of you. I have just one question, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. If Mr. Justice didn't leave this message in blood, then who did? What? Oh. Well. Looks like I should have taken that train of thought through the last station. Well, I've heard a lot about this. So this is Mr. Wright's famous bluffing technique, is it? Ah, this feeling, it brings back memories of the old days. Back when you carved out a name yourself by bluffing your way through the thick and thin. Gee, Mr. Wright, the judge kind of makes you sound no better than a two-bit con man. You made your argument with such confidence, Mr. Wright. Now I'd like to hear your answer with just as much confidence. Hey, until the judge asked the question, you didn't catch on either, Buster. What now, boss? I hope you didn't bluff your way into a corner. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way through this. I have to dig my way to the truth somehow. Who could have written that message in blood?
Take that!
To be honest, I don't actually have any real proof of this. But I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Besides Apollo, there was one more person who shed blood at this crime scene. A person who shed blood? You don't mean... Oh, but I do. I believe it was Candace Arm who left behind a message in blood. What? Detective Arm? Are you sure you know what you're doing here? Not really. What kind of ridiculous assertion is that? If you had said the attacker left behind the message to throw people off, it would have made sense. At first glance, it would seem the most reasonable explanation. However, Apollo didn't shed enough blood to write such an extensive message. Uh-oh. Ah, I see. Even the photo makes it clear there wasn't enough blood to write all those letters. And Mr. Justice did survive, so I suppose he didn't bleed very extensively, I suppose, in that case. But why would Detective Arm write the defendant's name? There's no connection between the two whatsoever. And I didn't even know the lady who was killed. I'm in a flashback. I admit the investigation didn't turn up any. They had never even met each other. That's very true. Well then, let's see. Maybe the intended meaning of the message is not what it appears to be. The intended meaning. Not what it appears to be. Maybe the message was not intended to be Woods. Coming from you, that's quite the bold statement, Mr. Wright. You wish to assert that this bloody writing could have had some other meaning? Yes, Your Honor. For something I pulled out of the wormhole, it could turn out to be true, right?
Objection!
It clearly says Woods, as anyone can plainly see. What other meaning could it possibly have?
Objection!
But Candace Arms was a detective. Maybe Woods only meant something to the police. Like a police scanner code, for example. I didn't think of that. You may have tricked His Honor, but you'll never get the best of me. I have a thing for studying on the weekends, as you already guessed. And there are no such radio codes as Woods in this statement, dear Wright. Is that a fact? Don't look at me. I know as much as you do on the police codes. Enough of this. I was quite taken with the defense's new theory. But if they can't substantiate it with anything, I must end things here. No, please wait, Your Honor. Very well, but before we discuss this theory any further, I demand a plausible explanation. So, Mr. Wright, what is the true meaning of this bloody writing? Well, I believe it's... And no stalling. If you can't come up with an answer quickly, I will declare the discussion officially over. I'm in trouble now. What other meaning could it possibly have besides the obvious one? Maybe it means something in another language? Or maybe it's a code. Think, Phoenix. You can do this. Which piece of evidence?
Take that!
The bomb transport case? I've had it up to here with your shenanigans, Wright. Take a look with the numbers on the side of this case. L10015R. Does the string look vaguely familiar? L100. What does that have to do with anything? What could those numbers possibly have anything to do with the case at hand? Now take a look at the bloody writing shown in the photo. Oh, I think I see it. That a girl, that's one on my side. It says WOODS. Or you could say it's a horse of a different color, Sir Honor. The first character isn't a W, it's actually an L and a 1. The next two are zeros. The true meaning behind the bloody writing isn't Mr. Wood's name. It's the number engraved on this bomb transport case.
Objection!
What are you talking about? The next part didn't make any sense. The numbers are a 1, but the bloody writing says a D.
Objection!
But the number on the case and the bloody writing can be made up to match easily. Please erase the third downward stroke of the W and the curved part of the D. Well, would you look at that? Lois? Leois? No, Your Honor, it isn't me who read the word. It's the number L10015, which, if you take away the final R, is the exact number that's on this bomb transport case. Erase two lines and they match up, you say. Well, I could change anything into anything else by simply erasing two lines. What if we erase two lines from your name? Would you be happy as Mr. Rye? Well, would you, Mr. Rye? The only right spelling is right. Okay, I'm doing pretty well here, and I've drawn the right conclusion. Detective Arn's real message to us is the bomb transport case number. Your Honor, the two lines were added to by the real culprit to intentionally mislead people. What? The original message Detective Arm left behind was the transport case number, but whoever assaulted Apollo changed the message. If you're right, boss, then what do you suppose Detective Arm is trying to tell us? Good question. What does this number represent? Do you see this number here? That is my identification number within a flashback. Candace Orme lost her life in the courtroom bombing. Her dying message could only have had one purpose. No. To tell us the name of the one responsible for the bombing. Well, don't keep us in suspense, Mr. Wright. Tell us who she was trying to name. The culprit that the victim was trying to identify is none other than Ted Tenate.
Take that!
The defense wishes to indict Mr. Ted Tenate on the charge of the courtroom bombing. Ted Tenate? Apparently, disabling bombs is Mr. Tenate's only specialty. Somehow the victim must have realized that he was the bomber, and then she was caught in the blast. She left his bomb transport case as her dying message. She used Mr. Tenate's own ID number to finger him for the crime.
Objection!
Why would anyone go out of their way to write an ID number? Wouldn't they simply write wouldn't they simply write the person's name? He's got a good point. What do you have to say for that, Mr. Wright? Only Detective Arm would know the answer to that, but allow me to offer a theory. Perhaps Detective Arm could recall Mr. Tenate's name in the heat of the moment. As I recall, this was the first meeting between the two. It's entirely possible they wouldn't have been familiar with each other. Or maybe using the ID number was a way to hide the true meaning for the real couple, thus lowering the odds that they would erase the bloody writing. But no matter what the reasoning, the important thing is the meaning behind her message. The fact remains she wrote Mr. Tenate's ID number.
Objection!
Now just one moment here. There hasn't been any proof yet it was indeed Detective Arm who wrote it. The bloody writing wasn't found during the investigation. After the blast, so Detective Arm had left the message. It would have been found at that time.
Objection!
Naturally, Mr. Tenate hid it before anyone could discover it. There's a simple explanation as to how he was able to do so. The first person to discover the bloody writing was Mr. Tenate himself. I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. I went there to ensure safety, but ended up discovering a dead body. When Mr. Tenate saw that the victim... I know, it was because, I was I have a guide up because... I have a guide up because it's been so long since I played the game, right? And I knew where, generally, to all those penalties. It wasn't from, like, cross-examination or anything. It was when it was showing, when you were trying to show that the case had been moved. The transport case had been moved. And I actually died. I failed. I was found guilty because I failed so much. When Mr. Tenate saw that the victim had written his ID number, he used the bomb transport case to cover up the bloody writing as a stopgap measure. Oh, so that's why the message in blood was under the transport case. He didn't have enough time to try and scrub away the writing. If he didn't report the body right away, he would look suspicious. So those letters lived on to serve another function. when Mr. Tenate used them in another incident. Oh, the assault on Mr. Justice. Exactly. Mr. Tenate hit upon a plan to use the bloody writing for his own purposes. So he didn't clean it anyway. Instead, he wrote it to make it look like Mr. Justice wrote it. By adding 2 lines in the writing that Detective Arm left behind, he changed the meaning of the message. He made it look like Mr. Justice was accusing Miss Woods of the attack. So that means the only person who could have altered the bloody writing was the courtroom bomber, who was the same person that assaulted Mr. Justice. And that person is Ted Tenate. Ah! Order in the court. Order, I say. It looks like we will have to hear from a bomb specialist himself. Mr. Payne, please have Mr. Tenate take the witness stand. Ugh. Yes, Your Honor. That was great, Mr. Wright. Just doing what I do best, which is flying by the seat of my pants. Dismantling the case is yours. Do you think you can handle it? I look forward to seeing you try that shit-eating grin again. Finally drawn Mr. Tenate back onto the witness stand. Looks like you'll get your wish, Goggle Man. Now watch me take your lies apart. Dot, 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 dot. Mr. Tenate, I'm afraid we have a few more questions for you. I understand the situation, Your Honor. I was keeping a close eye on the proceedings from the gallery. The allegations are all laughable.
Objection!
I wouldn't be laughing if I were you, Mr. Tenate. The message in blood matches your ID number. The same ID that is there on that bomb transport case. Such a far-fetched theory. No better than a tangled ball of wires. Was this necessary? I've had them untangled for you in no time at all. I have what? Hold on. Let's break this grammar down here. I've, which is a conjunction of I have them untangled for you in no time at all. I'm pretty sure the proper conjunction would have been I'll. You know, I will have them. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they meant I'll, not I've have. You were the first person on the scene after Detective Arm left her message in blood. You were the only one who could have hidden the writing, and then used it again later. I see times 2. But then, let me ask you, do you have any proof Detective Arm wrote that message? That's a very good question. Well, do you, Mr. Wright? The best way to prove Detective Arm wrote that message is to analyze the DNA. Your Honor, I request a DNA test be performed on the blood itself. Once we know whose blood it is, it'll be obvious as who wrote the message. Shit. I believe it. Very well. Bailiff, Please put in a request for a DNA test with the forensics team. Yes, Your Honor. It will be some time before we have the results of the analysis. Until then, let's hear more from the witness. I would like nothing more, Your Honor. I want the court to hear how ridiculous the defense's theory is. Both would be applicable. I admit I was the first on the scene after the explosion, but there was no bloody writing there at the time. Anyway, there was no way Detective Arm could have written it. She struck her head on the rubble and died near the courtroom entrance. She was too far away from where the bloody message was found. So you're saying that the victim's body was nowhere near where the writing was? Precisely. It's as plain as day she could... This motherfucker moved her. It's true, the body was discovered near the entrance to the courtroom. Please have a look at the crime scene. I see. Alright then, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Do you have what it takes to take my infallible testimony apart? Yes. One, two, three.
Objection!
You're a terrible liar, Mr. Nate. What? Take a look at this autopsy, specifically the part about Detective Arm's head injury. Cause of death, trauma to back of the head, caused by impact with a flat object. Yes, what about it? Now take a good look at the bloody piece of rubble. It's sharp and pointed. Ah! Hey, you're right, boss. It is pointy. Just like your hair. That is odd, isn't it? What could be the meaning of this contradiction? I believe it means that the victim did not hit her head on the piece of rubble. The blood stain you see is just another fabrication. Its purpose is to mislead us into thinking the victim died near the courtroom entrance. Are you claiming that the culprit moved the victim's body? That is exactly what I'm claiming. The victim hit her head at some other location, most likely on the floor or some other flat surface, and this location was somewhere near where the bloody writing was found. In that case, she definitely could have written the message. Your Honor, I have the results of the blood stain analysis. That was fast. Ah, very good timing. Let's take a look. According to this report, the message was written in Detective Arm's blood. As the defense claims, only parts of the message were added afterwards, were written in Mr. Justice's blood. It would appear that the defense assertion is correct after all. Yeah, you did it. You're right, boss. Now I have to drive it home. I'll have to take a good look at it, at the bloody writing analysis later. Mr. Nate, it is now apparent that you have told several lies in this court. I hope you have some sort of explanation for yourself. Fine, I will confess. You will. But then why are you so calm? This time, I will tell the truth. It is true that Detective Arm wrote my ID number She very plainly wrote L1001515R. I was shocked, but I did not detonate the bomb. Detective R must have mistaken me for the real bomber. Not wanting to be accused, I moved the body and covered the writing. My bad. You can't say my bad or something like that. I see. So it is your assertion that you merely moved the body, is that it? That is correct. I did not kill Detective Arm. Oh, well, if that's all you did, then... Wait a minute. That, in and of itself, is a criminal act. Glad to see you finally crossed that finish line, Your Honor. Very well, then. Your cross-examination, please, Mr. Wright.
Objection!
I just want to make doubly sure that L10015R is really what you saw written in blood. Yes, it is very clearly said L10015R. But that's odd, because that's not what I see.
Objection!
What on earth are you babbling on about now? Wasn't it you who claimed that the bloody writing was his ID number in the first place? Take a good look at the photo and bloody writing analysis. Now tell me, does it really say L10015R? How many times do I have to say this shit? Eep! Something is missing, isn't it? And that something is the final R. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Snake? Oh, that's right. Now I remember. There was no R at the end. It was just a slip of the finger. My bad. With the shit-eating grin. Come back, my beautiful contradiction. Mr. Wright, I'm not so sure it was just a simple slip of the finger. You have something for me, Athena? I sense that he's extremely agitated, almost panicked. You don't say. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears it was nothing more than a mere mistake. I don't know. Did he really just make a typo? What about that R? Did Mr. Ternate really see it? Maybe Ternate really did see that R. But there's no R. Yes, there is! Right there! Well, you can't see my mouse. It's right there. There's a piece broken off. I think maybe. That's it! What is it now, Mr. Wright? Are you trying to imitate Apollo with his cords of steel? I've got it. So that's what happened. A slip of the finger. Is that really all it was? Because I don't think so. I suppose Mr. Ternate really did see that letter R. But the photo clearly shows that there is no R. Your Honor, it's actually just the opposite is true. The photo shows that Mr. Ternate actually could have seen the R. You're going to make that claim. You better be able to point out what you mean.
Take that!
Please take a look here, to the right of the 5. Do you see a little bit of the red? Oh, I see it just on the edge of where the floor is broken up. That's the R Mr. Ternate saw.
Objection!
If that's true, then the witness wears some very, very odd goggles. But that doesn't mean his eyesight is bad, nor his brain power. What part of that little smudge makes it look like an R to you?
Objection!
But what Mr. Ternate saw wasn't that little smudge. There was a whole and complete R written there. before the floor is damaged by the explosion. Oh, well, that explains it. Huh? Care to explain what you mean? Because you just proposed that everything happened in the opposite order. Yep, because that's the way it really went down. The timing of when that R was written turns everything about this case around. Now then, if the floor is damaged by the explosion, before the explosion, with the bloody message running off the edge of the damaged floor like that, we can only conclude that it was written before the explosion. But that's ridiculous. If that's true, then it overturns your whole premise. That's right, it does. In fact, it turns everything upside down. The victim was not killed by the explosion in the courtroom. She was killed before the explosion ever occurred. Order in the court. What kind of preposterous claim is that? Have you forgotten that the victim's body was found at the scene of the explosion? True, but consider this scenario. She was hit on the head and killed before the explosion, or even before the trial even began. Her body was subsequently placed in the courtroom ruins after the bomb occurred. That way, it could be made to look like she was victim of the blast. What? It sounds like we'd better look into what the victim was doing before the trial. Mr. Payne, did anyone see Detective Arm before the trial? Let's see. According to the police report... here it is. One person saw the victim before the trial. And that person was... Head Tenate. Wait, what? No one besides Mr. Tenate saw the victim? That appears to be the case, Your Honor. I would now ask the court to recall something. Specifically, Mr. Tenate's words from yesterday. It was when Detective Arm and I were transporting the bomb. Oh my. Mr. Tenate, finger waggle! Just before the trial, you were with the victim. The two of you were at the scene of the crime before. Your Honor, the defense requests a new testimony from Mr. Tenate. We wish to hear what he has to say about his whereabouts just before the trial. Mr. Tenate, your testimony, please. My testimony? There is no need for... He's completely unnerved, Mr. Wright. You completely hit the nail on the head. Because the doctor, all I did was transport the courtroom. I already told you. How two letters, but how? Wow, that's the thing. I was only in the courtroom with the victim because of our work. I swear I was only transporting the bomb there.
Objection!
You and the victim were alone together at the scene of the crime. In other words, you certainly had the opportunity to commit murder, did you not?
Objection!
Do you always leave yourself so open to attacks, Mr. Wright? What now, Mr. Payne? Yes, Mr. Tenate might have had the opportunity to kill Detective Arm, but an important piece of your assertion is missing. What important piece? The murder weapon. What do you claim? It's the bomb. I would have thought that even without the guide up. Mr. Payne has a point. Even if Mr. Tenate had the chance, without a weapon, you can't accuse him of the crime. Well, Mr. Tenate. Oh, yes, that's right. I didn't have any sort of thing that could be used as a murder weapon on me. I couldn't have possibly killed Detective Arm. Did he really have nothing on him he could use as a weapon? What is it, Athena? Just looking over the victim's autopsy report. I'm hoping that there was something in there we could point in the right direction. Well, it does say she died from trauma to the back of the head with a flat object. Yeah, and to inflict that specific kind of injury, All you would need is a flat surface, right? A heavy blunt object with a flat surface could definitely be our murder weapon. Well, Mr. Wright, can you indicate for the court what was used to kill Detective Arm? I believe I can. Believe being the key word here. You can. Whew. Yeah, please do so now.
Take that!
Mr. Tornate, you say you didn't have anything that could be used as a weapon, but in fact, you had the perfect thing. What? What the devil are you talking about? You had this. The bomb. I thought you were trying to prove that the victim wasn't killed by the bomb blast. The bomb blast, no, but I believe Candace Arms was killed with this bomb. Because this blunt object that delivered the fatal blow to her head. Please recall the description of Detective Arms' head wound. Trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object. We assume this injury was sustained when she hit her head on the floor. But a blow from any flat side of this bomb would produce the exact same head wound pattern. I can't do that laugh. Oh, my gun's too short of breath. What's with him? Then show me some proof. Where's the evidence that I hit the victim with a bomb? Ugh, he's right. I don't have anything decisive. Did you have anything? Do you have any of the victim's blood on the bomb? That would be decisive proof. But too bad, the bomb is blown to bits. It's long gone. Boom! Game over! Yeah! Mr. Wright, is there really nothing on the bomb in the photo? See any blood or anything? Wait, the timer display is a little broken there. Maybe it broke when it made contact with the... No, it's not flat. That's definitely a distinct possibility. But unless we find a fragment within the victim's blood on it, it's not going to count. I guess you're right. By setting off the bomb, Nate managed to obliterate all traces of the murder weapon. What in the world do I do now? At times like this, I gotta change gears and look at things a different way. Instead of looking for things he wasn't able to hide, I should be looking for a way to expose the things he did hide. Nate murdered Detective Arm before the trial started, and he placed her body in the courtroom after the bomb went off. Which means there was something he managed to keep hidden until then. I think I have just the thing. Courtroom bombing photo.
Take that!
Your Honor, there is something we've been all overlooking. If the murder took place before the trial, then Mr. Tenate would have had to hide the bodies somewhere during the trial. You're right, and if we could figure out where that hiding place was, exactly, we might be able to find some evidence that we could pin him down with. So where could Mr. Tenate have hidden the body during the trial?
Take that!
Wait, a box big enough for a body? A box that was in the courtroom the whole time? A box nobody would touch if they thought there was a bomb in it. Mr. Tenate? What is it? Do you finally have some decisive evidence to show me? No, you're the one who's going to show it to me. Come again. You heard me. Now, show me what's inside the bomb transport case. What? Why? No, there's no need. I got him now. Just before the trial, you killed the victim with a blunt object. Then you placed her body in the ruins of the courtroom after the bomb went off. Clearly, you were trying to make it look like she died in the explosion. But where was the body hidden during the trial? Oh, I hadn't thought of that. The answer is right here. Inside of a box made of thick alloy plating that could withstand any impact. No, that's, completely false. If it's false, then you should have no objections to my finger waggle by showing us your transport case. So, let's open it up and take a look inside, shall we? Open the box. Open the box. Who's holding it? Let's not and say we did. Not if you value your life. What's he up to now? Remain calm and listen carefully. This bomb will detonate in 5 minutes. What? Huh? I repeat, this HH-3000 will detonate in 5 minutes. What's going on? Your Honor, I recommend you adjourn this trial before this bomb goes off. Mr. Tornate, are you threatening me? He. I'm the only one who can disable this bomb. If you do not wish to die, your only option is to listen to me. But Mr. Tornate, didn't you say that's just a training model? A fake to practice on? I did, but I also lied. This is the real deal. This is the HH-3000. But the HH-3000 we used to blow courtroom number 4, wasn't it? How do you know it was the real HH-3000 that blew up the courtroom number 4? Huh? The bomb that blew up the courtroom was a different one. One that I made. What? Are we to take that as a confession on your part? Take it any way you would like. Just before the trial, I took the HH-3000 out of the stuffed animal and put my own bomb into it. That was the bomb that exploded and destroyed courtroom number 4. Mr. Tornate, please be reasonable. Do you really expect us to believe a crazy story like that? The HH-3000 is so unique, I have never seen anything like it. It is so unique, I could not replicate the detonation mechanism. So, I just had to have it. Besides, did anyone look inside the stuffed animal during the trial? Did anyone check to see if it really was the HH-3000 in there? I must confess, no one opened the stuffed animal to check. So there really was a possibility that the bomb was switched out. No, not a possibility. A certainty. I did it. So we really had a bomb with him the whole time. You had better get out of here while you can. You do not have much time. Order in the court. I'm out of here. It's gonna blow. Run! You 4 are still here. Well, aren't you brave? It just wouldn't do for the judge presiding over this court to run. But that horrible explosion the other day. The judge looked like he's about to book it for the next exit any second. And Mr. Payne, that is, and I'm out. And go. Mr. Wright, what do we do? Ugh, it'd be pretty pathetic to run now, wouldn't it? But the bomb might really go off. Only 3 more minutes, folks. Is that bomb really the HH-3000? What should I do? Stand my ground. I ain't no bitch. Mama didn't raise no quitter. Can't run now. Well, it's been fun. But I'll be going now. With my dear HH-3000, naturally. Oh, and by the way, I would advise against having me followed. Even with no remote switch, this bomb can still be triggered manually. If I think I'm being followed. I'm sorry. Can you English, sir? I will detonate it on the spot. Farewell.
Hold it!
You're not going anywhere, Detonate. Oh. Your Honor, there's no reason to be afraid. That bomb is a fake. Are you sure, Mr. Wright? More of your famous bluffing, even at the risk of your own life. Mr. Wright, none of your bluffing now. Not at a time like this. Lives are on the line here. I'm not bluffing, and I have proof. You do? Yes, of course, Your Honor. Take a look right here at the photo of the bomb, clear as day. Proof that Mr. Tenace's bomb is not the real HH-3000. Really? Outwitted it immediately. Where is the proof that what Mr. Tenace is holding is not the real HH-3000?
Take that!
The display for the timer on the bomb in the photo is broken. Most likely, it was broken when Mr. Tenace used the bomb to attack Detective Arm. But the display on the bomb in front of us is not broken. Oh, you're right. Therefore, it is not the real HH-3000. Mr. Tenace was clearly lying when he said he switched out the bomb with the stuffed animal. The real HH-3000 blew up in courtroom number 4. The bomb is nothing more than a fake, a model used for training purposes. Fear not, Your Honor, for I finger waggle at the man. I will examine the inside of the bomb and transportate myself. Yes, please do that, Mr. Wright. No, stop! What's that? Is that a blood stain? Just as I expected. Your lies have all been blown to bits, Mr. Tenace. I'm confident DNA analysis on this bloodstain will confirm that it is Detective Arm's blood. And for those results will conclusively prove you murdered Detective Arm. How about it, Mr. Tenace? Think you can dismantle this decisive evidence? Dismantle it. You're too late. You missed your chance to run, so now you're out of time. This HH-3000 is about to blow. Don't try to threaten us, Mr. Tenace. I've already proved that your bomb is a fake. It's real. This bomb is the real thing, I tell you. It's real. Maniacal laughing. Mad Bomber Party of 1. There's no time left. It's gonna blow. I have to disarm it. I have to take it apart. I can dismantle anything. I can take apart evidence. I can take apart bombs. I can dismantle it all. Dismantle, 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 dismantle. I'm not gonna make it. Only one thing left to do. Stop. I'm sorry? What? Boy. Made it. Game over. Dismantle attempt failed. It's all over. My life has been blown to bits. It's all that stupid woman's fault. I was selling bombs and disarmed on the black market. When I tried to take this one, she just had to notice, didn't she? She confronted me in courtroom number 4 that day. That's why I had no choice. Before I knew what I was doing, I hit her. It's all her fault. While I was looking for a place to hide her body, she left a message in her own blood. The trial was about to start and I didn't have time to clean it up. And now all this. I thought for sure I could disguise my death with an explosion. Then that stupid defense attorney had to start sticking his nose in my business. After my testimony yesterday, I went to courtroom 4 and found that kid all up in my bomb transport case. That was when I snuck up behind him and bam! And when the idiot police arrested that little girl, I thought I for sure could pin it all on her. Why? Oh, why? Ted and Nate, you are hereby under arrest on suspicion of the courtroom bombing and the assault on Mr. Justice. Your innocence or guilt will be determined at a later trial. Now then, I see the members of the public have returned to the gallery. One person, however, seems to still be running far, far away. Be that as it may, I will now announce Miss Juniper Woods' verdict. Not guilty. We only failed one time, boys. And that was at the fault of my own incompetence. Court is adjourned. December 18th, 12:31 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 5. You did it, boss. Yeah, I guess we managed to pull it off somehow. So many mysteries cleared up all at once. It was amazing. It all sort of worked out that way, didn't it? It's not the kind of thing you usually just works out. You made it happen. And the way that mean old prosecutor hightailed it out of here, that was great. Mr. Wright, Athena, thank you for everything you did for me. I'm so happy for you, Junie. Now you can go home back home in the forest of peace. I hope both of you will come and visit me there someday. It'd be nice. Thank you for the invitation. I don't know, Wright. I'm not so sure you can make it all the way up to Junie's house. How high up do you live again, Junie? About 3,000 feet, I think. What? That's no forest, that's a mountain. But you know, boss, there's something that still bothers me about this case. One little mystery we never got around to solving. Oh, that? Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Oh, the missing remote switch.
Take that!
The remote switch, right? Yeah, I wonder where it disappeared to. Maybe Mrs. Nate just got rid of it somewhere. Yeah, it's probably a pretty big thing to leave unsolved, though. Well, let's leave it up to the police to find. For now, we should be celebrating our not guilty verdict. I guess you're right. Hey, I know, Junie. Should we go to report the good news? You know, to that certain someone? Yeah, maybe? Okay. Huh? Her grandmother? No, silly. To Apollo. Alright. Well, why don't we all go to the hospital together to see him? Great idea. I bet he's bored out of his mind. Okay. So the courtroom bombing case came to a close. But the next trial was just over the horizon. There was never a dull moment with so many lawyers in the office, that's for sure. Apollo Justice, Athena Sykes, and me, Phoenix Wright. Between the three of us, there's no case we can't solve. When our powers combine, we are Captain Planet. Or an unstoppable team. At least that's what I believe. But all that changed with what Apollo said to us that day. It was something that would put my faith in us to the ultimate test. Date Unknown. Time, unknown. Wright, anything, agency.
Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence.
Wait, what do you mean by a leave?
Can you at least give me a reason why?
I can only say that this is something I must settle on my own.
Oh, why, Apollo? Why are you shutting us out?
What happened to you, Apollo? Ever since you put that jacket on, you've changed. And now, for whatever reason, all my mind keeps doing is returning to the day I first met you. We had tackled our first case together, he and I, this past spring. And as we did, I came to know who he is and how he thinks. It was a very peculiar case, one in which the victim was killed by a mythical creature. And on that note, that will bring an end to tonight's stream. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. We might continue this on tomorrow, tonight, whatever. It's just a matter of when I wake up, what I decide to do. I might decide to skip tonight, stream, hang out with some people in VR. I don't know. But again, thank you for hanging out with me. It was nice. Nice little 3.5 hour stream. Take care, and we'll see each other again. Good night.